Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get things set up here. So I'm going to do something a little different today. Just in kind of a mood tonight. I want something to kind of tickle my brain and get me kind of thinking. Um, so, yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to watch some YouTube videos. Um, Gonna do kind of a reaction thing. So see how this goes. Um, so I might get a little emotional on some of these, but hey, I think we're all a little bit emotional. So, um, and it just I'm not sure, but I don't know why it's such a hard thing to, or such a frowned upon thing nowadays to show your emotions. But you know what? I don't really care. um, so what we're gonna do here? I found this. I haven't watched it yet, but it's a short story called "The Man Who Found the Edge of the Universe," and I just kind of wanted to. It seemed like it would be interesting. Probably, hopefully, it's mind expanding. That whole thing. So, I'm gonna go ahead and start the video. I might stop it in the middle and parts for commentary. Because, I mean, otherwise you could just watch it yourself if you didn't want to hear me talking. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what this is all about.
The following is the story about the man who changed everything. The man who was born at just the right time with just the right mix of stuff. The man who found the edge of the universe. This
Okay.
man's name was Simon Farlander. He was born about 400 years ago, back in the year 2012, a strange time when humanity and technology began to rapidly merge, and things started to change in ways that couldn't yet even be understood. In
Yep, the good old technology age where we started looking at our phones more than we started to look at each other. We stopped looking at each other and started looking at each other on our phones. Well, that's my take on it. But yeah, I won't go too far into that because that's a whole nother rant. Let's continue.
Simon's early life, he was an incredible child, many years ahead of his peers intellectually. He showed signs of genius, and it was clear that he had something special, something that allowed him to understand complex equations and ideas quickly and clearly, unlike most other children, and even many adults for that matter. Although Simon was treated somewhat uniquely as a result of his advanced intelligence, he still had a nice, ordinary early childhood. His parents treated him how any young boy should be treated, and Simon and his parents were extremely close. They would go out and explore the world together and made efforts to ensure that Simon felt normal yet engaged in his intellect. However, at the age of 8, something horrible happened to Simon. One of those moments that completely alters the course of one's life. A moment where the curtains pull back a tiny bit more than they should for where you are sitting and reveal something that forever changes your perspective on the show of life. At the age of 8, Simon's mother contracted a rare stomach virus on an overseas business trip. Over the course of the preceding several weeks, Simon watched his mother lose all of her body weight while doctors frantically tried to figure out what was wrong with her and how to fix it. As time waned and doctors' efforts continually fell short, Simon slowly watched his mother lose her soul. Right in front of Simon's eyes, his mother died. When his mother passed, Simon looked to his father and asked, "Where does Mom go now?" His father responded, "Well, she's in a better place now. She's in heaven." Being the inquisitive and intelligent young boy that Simon was, he asked, "But what's heaven? And how's it better than being here with us?" "Well, it's peaceful. It's somewhere way up in the sky past everything. Somewhere right at the edge of the universe," responded Simon's father. In Simon's youthful optimism, he took this very literally. He believed that this edge of the universe was a real place that, if he could find it, he would find his mother. How could it not be real, after all? His father told him it was, so it must be. And so, Simon decided in this moment that he would find it. As Simon grew older, he began to mature and his intelligence began to form more lucidly. He would soon realize that
Wow. That's that's actually really powerful. I mean, you take a kid that just understands more than your normal kid. He questions things. He's like, but why is mom better off there than with us? God. Wow. Um I guess that's the curse of a scientific mind. I mean, it's not a curse, but it's definitely something. I mean, that's most kids would just be like, "Oh, okay. You know, I miss mommy, but she is in a better place." Um so yeah, just want to comment on that. Let's continue.
no one, including his father, had any real clue as to what they were talking about. That no one knew what was going on, who anyone was, where anyone came from, or where anyone was going. Simon found this lack of understanding infuriating. How could no one know what was going on? How could even his own father make such claims? How could everyone just act like they had it all under control and make stuff up to try and cope with the fact that no one really does? Simon refused to accept this. Simon refused to play along with the ruse. Instead of being like most children when they turn into young adults and let their youthful hopes and dreams die, the dream Simon had about finding the edge of the universe was a dream he continued to sustain. Only now he refined it and pursued it intellectually. He made it his life's mission to research and understand the conditions of the universe and the meaning of life, to find out what all of this nonsense was about, to see if his mother was still out there somewhere. Simon would embark on a career in physical cosmology, a field concerned entirely with the structure and dynamic of the universe, its source, and its ultimate fate. This undertaking deeply excited Simon. It got him up early every day and kept him up late every night. Through his late teens and early 20s, his enthusiasm combined with his blossoming genius got him into an Ivy League college and an amazing PhD program. After completing college, Simon went on to join a major leading research organization. Every step along the way through school and his career, Simon would learn a little bit more about the laws and theories of the universe. Every step made Simon feel a little more hopeful and excited. Hopeful and excited that there was something new and incredible to be discovered. By the year 2043, Simon had worked his way up into a lead role in the research organization. At this time, the company was developing a mission to the planet Mars with the intent to create the first ever interplanetary research group based on another planet's surface. Simon was assigned the lead of this mission. For Simon, this adventure yet again rejuvenated his hopefulness and excitement for life. The idea that he would be one step closer to the edge of the universe, one step closer to touching more truth, this kept the fire burning inside of him. Once on Mars, Simon led the research team that would mine the landscape seeking discoveries and looking for resources that could be of practical and theoretical use to human life. As more and more time would pass, Simon would prove to be an incredibly successful leader and was responsible for many discoveries that dramatically benefited humanity. Simon's hopefulness, intrigue, and success became a major factor in humanity's inspiration to continue forward into the cosmos and explore several other new planets thereafter. Soon, humanity would begin to travel deeper and deeper into the unknown. Every step and every discovery along the way would reveal a little bit more about reality and constantly renew Simon's excitement and hope. Like blindly putting our hand into a box without knowing what's inside, the deeper and deeper humanity reached, the further the anticipation and excitement built. But the question remained, how far could we reach? What was at the bottom of this box? With a longer life expectancy than ever before as a result of new technology and medical treatments, Simon's ability to maintain intellectual momentum and continue leading humanity further into the cosmos exceeded far beyond any possibility of the past. And Simon wasn't going to stop. Over the next many years, Simon would go on to become the most intelligent, innovative, and profound individuals to ever cross humanity, a super genius as some might call him. As technological, theoretical, and medical advancements compounded even further, humanity's understanding about the universe unfolded more and more, all the way up until humanity became a Type 3 civilization. A civilization that possesses the knowledge of how to use and control energy at the scale of its entire host galaxy. And it was, of course, one of Simon's discoveries that allowed this to happen. In the year 2330, Simon discovered a method of using a galactic nucleus named Blazar as an energy source, which would bring humanity into Type 3 and provide it with interstellar and interdimensional travel capabilities. Simon would become a sort of supreme leader in this new order of the universe, determining the places humanity would go and what it would acquire, build, and use within the universe. And most importantly to Simon, for the first time, he now had the ability of finding, if it existed, the very edge of the universe. Some more years passed and
So, in Simon's timeline, I mean, I say that because, well, this is definitely hasn't happened. Um, he, I mean, it seems like he really did inspire the world. Like, did he inspire the world so much with curiosity that it drove humanity into that sense of wonder to explore? Because, man, do we need that right now? Because right now we are so preoccupied with killing each other and war and who's got this money, who's got that money. And in the grand scheme of things, as Carl Sagan said, we are just a pale blue dot in the universe. Not even a grain of sand on the cosmic scale of things. Just think about that for a second. Everybody that ever lived, every person that ever spilled another's blood, it all happened on this tiny little dot in the universe. Like, wow. So, yeah, I wish there would be a change like this. There would be somebody that would capture the world's attention and bring upon some kind of new what is it? New excitement for exploration. Alright, well, I'm gonna keep going. Let's keep going with the video.
Simon would find himself on the furthest planet in the furthest galaxy away from Earth ever inhabited by human. While on this planet, he noticed something in the distance. A strange wall of light unlike anything he had ever seen before. Dissimilar from the isolated light of a star or a black hole, this light appeared more like a blanket covering the entire viewable space in its direction. A wall where the empty darkness of space met parallel with an intense pure white light. Simon pounded with excitement and hope for what it might be. After probing the wall and finding no retrievable data for what might be on the other side, it was determined that it was significantly risky to travel up to it. Simon decided to do it anyway. After all, he did not make it this far by not taking risks for the sake of his curiosity and excitement. Simon took off towards the wall. As he got closer and closer, the reality of the situation began to overwhelm him. He knew fairly well, based on his research and understanding, that if there was an edge to the universe, it would have certain characteristics, and this appeared to have them. As he approached, the light became more and more intense. Simon arrived at the face of the wall. The light nearly searing his eyes, he reached out to touch it. It was hard, like a glowing concrete wall with no give and no apparent entry. Simon looked in all directions along the wall. It went on for as far as his sight would allow him to see. In this moment, he realized this was it. He had found it. The source of all meaning, the place where we all come from and the place where we all end up, the edge of the universe. And Simon realizes that it's nothing. Just the end. Not peaceful, but not peaceful either. Just nothing. Suddenly, Simon loses all of his excitement, all of his hope. The end of the game. Simon won, but just like the video games he played as a child, the prize was nothing more than a completed game disc he no longer had any interest in. Simon realized how foolish he was. That the whole time, it wasn't the source of all meaning that he was chasing. It wasn't the edge of the universe. It wasn't heaven. It wasn't even his mother. It was hope. He was merely chasing having something to chase. A game to play. Something to strive for. But just like a dog chasing its tail, what he wanted, he had all along the way. For an initial moment, this devastated Simon. But then, he was happy. Simon returned back to the civilization of humanity that was eagerly awaiting his return to hear news about what the Wall of Light was. When Simon returned, they asked with great anticipation, "Is it the edge of the universe? Is it heaven? Is it the source of everything?" Simon looked at the crowd and thought to himself for a moment. Then he said, "No, it was nothing. Just a strange light reflection phenomenon. Nothing to be concerned about." Disappointed that the edge of the universe and the source of all meaning had still not been discovered, humanity continued to look elsewhere, excited and hopeful that one day, maybe they would find it.
Thank you for watching. If you found enjoy...
Wow. Excuse me, I'm getting a little emotional at this. Probably because, yeah, that's what people strive for. Just a little bit of hope. Something to look forward to in life. Um, you know, I mean, I guess what is I mean, what is life without something to look forward to? I mean, wow. There's really not much more to say on that one. That, kind of got me a little emotional. Kind of reminds me of another one that another story. And yeah, I'm probably gonna get pretty emotional on this one too. It's called The Egg by Andy Weir. I'm not gonna go into it. I'm just gonna go ahead and play the video. It was originally a short story. This is a video adaptation of it. So I'll just let the story speak for itself. And again, I might pause here and there to give my commentary, as this is a reaction video.
Ice cream truck? Yeah. Did it? Yes. Did I? Yes, although you wouldn't remember that bit. I pulled you out just before things started getting a little spattery. Just as a courtesy, really.
Spattery?
You like a cornetto? It's Enigma, vanilla and chocolate flavor.
No, thank you. Sorry, you pulled me out. From where?
Your soul from your body. I'm afraid you're pretty dead.
Oh, okay.
I'm dead. I've not lived. I've not done anything with my life. Put me back. You took me out of there. You can put me back in again.
Now, remember. Remember what he just said. Remember, he said, I haven't lived. I haven't done anything with my life. How can I be dead? This doesn't make any sense. Just remember that as we go on, and you'll see why this story is just so mind-blowing.
Please.
No, I'm afraid you wouldn't like that very much unless you're a fan of hemorrhage spleen. Your body was too broken to take back. Your spirit would simply leak out and melt away.
So that's me done then, is it? Oh, what a waste of a life that was. Greatest achievement. Probably being in the paper for that big sunflower. Thank you so much for that.
Hey, don't blame me. I have no say in what happens down there. That's all you. If you think you wasted your life, that's your carpe diem and all that.
What about my family? Will they be alright? Oh god. I hope they don't check my internet history.
Not the best of days for them, but they'll live. Your parents always preferred your sister anyway. Listen, if you must go, your room will become one of those rooms where you dump stuff you don't need anymore but can't give away. Your friends will be glad of the opportunity for a piss-up at your funeral, but will eventually go their separate ways and forget about you in time. Your parents will carry on plodding on in their middle management jobs, content but never trying for retirement. The memory of Angie will gradually fade away as the sands of time erode everything and anyone you ever touched. Your name will be uttered just one more time, and then you'll become one of those
faceless characters from history, of which the very foundation of progress and civilization was formed.
I mean, isn't that kind of how it goes? You know, we're sad for loved ones for a little bit when they pass. Sometimes years, sometimes months, weeks. It just really depends on how close you were to them. But I guess that is the cruelty of time. Because eventually all things are forgotten. You know? But that's why you have to live your life and strive to be remembered, to leave behind something interesting enough about yourself or what you've done to be remembered. To be honest, I'm kind of afraid that I might leave this world without leaving behind anything useful. So, hey, maybe you'll come across this video years later, hundreds, whenever, when I'm dead. Maybe you'll maybe I will impart some wisdom on you. So, yeah. Let's get on with the video.
Take it you're God or something then?
What's this place? Heaven? It's bloody freezing.
Oh my, no. You're in a place of your own making. This is, and I am, your own construct. Representation of things you can't comprehend to make the transition easier. You think I would voluntarily take this form? It's a bit cliche, isn't it? Do credit me with a little imagination. You are going to be reincarnated. Let's walk. Could you not have gifted me with a slightly more nimble representation?
So I'm going back. Another chance.
In a manner of speaking,
Christianity got it wrong.
All religions have their good bits. Though Jesus Christ didn't die for your sin.
he died largely because he was nailed to a cross and then stabbed with a spear.
And so what becomes of me? Of Andy? Do I just forget being me in my new life?
No, that wouldn't be at all constructive. You won't remember your past lives, but you do have the experience of them. Your soul is bigger and more magnificent than you could possibly imagine.
Wow. that, wow. I mean, there's been times where I've felt like I don't belong in this world, that I was part of something, a bigger, more something world. Let's get on with the video.
Like this glass filled with water. I can put my finger in it to check the temperature, and even though just a tiny portion of myself has been in there, I have gained all the skills.
How many times has this happened then? Being up here, then being thrown back down there again?
Oh, many times in many lives. If you were to stay around here for long enough, they'd begin to come back to you, but I don't want you to be distracted from the matter at hand.
And what is the matter at hand?
Throwing you back down there, as you so eloquently put it. This time around, you're going to be a 4th century Chinese peasant girl. I'm afraid they're not all that hot on toilet technology.
I'm going back in time.
I have no time for time. From your perspective, I suppose it is back in time, but it's not all that clear-cut where I'm from.
And where are you from?
I'm not telling you that. You wouldn't comprehend, and I'm not giving away any spoilers. There are others like me, though, although they're not quite as fussed about you as I am. Ah, what do we have here? A ruined church. I didn't know you were so poetic. Shall we? Very rustic.
So, why must I keep living lives? I'm getting all these experiences, but why? What's the point?
It always comes down to this, doesn't it? You meet God and always end up asking what the meaning of life is. The cliches keep on coming with you, don't they? And in a church, no less.
Well, while we're here, might as well.
This is my favorite bit. Let's get some atmosphere.
Oh, yes, very atmospheric.
Hang on a moment. Let there be light. The universe. Magnificent, isn't it? The reason why I made the universe was for you to mature. Each life makes you greater.
What about everyone else?
There isn't anyone else. In this universe, it's just you and me.
But all those people down there on Earth?
All you. Different incarnations of you, but all you.
I'm everyone.
Yes. You're everyone. Everyone who has, or...
This is the truly mind-blowing part.
ever will live.
So, I was...
Hitler? Why is it that people from your time always go for him? Yes, you were Hitler, but you were also all of the people he murdered, and everyone who died for him, and everyone who fought against him. Whenever you wronged someone, you wronged yourself. Whenever you cheated someone, you cheated yourself. Every emotion ever felt by anyone has been or will be felt by you. It's all part of the process. I'm not raising you to think like me. I'm raising you to think. I'm.
Wait. What's the point?
Because one day you will become like me. Because that's what you are. You are my child. But before that, you must grow. When you have experienced every emotion in every life throughout the entirety of time, you will be just about ready. But now it's time to go and learn some Chinese for about the 2 life throughout the entirety of time. This won't hurt. Be nice and have fun.
I mean, wow, think about that one for a little bit. Oh. What if you were everyone, all just living out a different life? So everyone that you've ever seen was just you living out another life. I mean, that means any wrong that you've done to others, you've also done to yourself. I mean, all those lies are just training to become a more advanced being. Well, I'm not saying this is like the absolute truth or anything, but it is a very fun thought experiment. Wow. So that's the first episode of this. I'll probably do more of these as I find more content. I might even make a new channel for it. So if you enjoyed these, I would appreciate a like or subscribe. I'll try and get the links to the videos down in the video description. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you again for watching, and have a great night.